Winston. It's time for another Viva on the street. Now, we are not yet at Australian levels of tyranny, but we're not that far off. And for anybody who's not following what's going on in Australia, you might want to pay attention because it might be time to start seeing what might be lying in the future for those of us who are not paying attention. Avi Yamini of Rebel Media, Rebel News, is getting some of the most compelling footage coming out of Australia. And it's not just that it's compelling footage. It takes audacity, courage, and I dare say a little recklessness to get that close and personal to some of those Australian police officers, given what's going on in Australia.
Victoria Police are so desperate to stop the press from revealing what they're doing in Melbourne right now that they're actively trying to impose a media blackout, you know, communist China and North Korea style. First, they tried and failed to ban aerial protest telecasts when 3 mainstream media companies successfully challenged that overreach in the federal court. So now, they're trying to do it on the ground.
But this Viva on the street is not about Australia. It's about its little brother, or maybe its cousin, Canada. And what's going on in Canada? Because for anyone who thinks what's going on in Australia is too far gone to ever get here, we're not that far off. So the story is also coming out of Rebel Media. And it's about someone in Ontario who apparently got arrested for refusing to show her vaccine passport at a local municipal rink. And after the mother, who was in front of her kids for this arrest, and I'll show you the video in a bit, after she refused to show her vaccine passport, maybe she had it and didn't want to show it out of principle, maybe she didn't have it, who knows, doesn't change anything for me. She was promptly arrested, allegedly for violating the Trespass Act of Ontario. Now, because this is not just a question of showing a shocking video so that everybody can get incensed as to what is going on in our hopefully good country, to be good country again, or at the very least formerly wonderful free country, Canada. Your daily dose of law. Trespassing in Canada, contrary to popular misconception, is not a federal crime. There is no federal statute for trespass in Canada. Now, there is a provision for trespass at night, which is specific, and I'll read it to you in a second, but there is no specific provision for trespassing per se. That is a purely provincial issue that each province enacts statutory legislation for trespass. Interesting fact also, by the way, Quebec has no prohibition on trespass. Federally speaking, once upon a time, there was a provision of the criminal code dealing with assault by trespass. And that is, if you were asked to leave a property and you did not leave, and in so refusing to leave, committed assault, that was a specific criminal code provision. Apparently it was repealed in 2012, and it kind of makes sense because assault by trespass kind of just smells like assault. Anyways, I don't know the exact reasons for which that provision of law was repealed. There is no specific criminal code provision for trespass. There is a provision for trespassing at night, which I'm going to read to you right now. Every person who, without lawful excuse, loiters or prowls at night on the property of another person near a dwelling house situated on that property is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction. So getting back to the story and the video I'm going to show you in a second, apparently this mother was asked to show her vaccine passport entering a municipal rink. And apparently she did not want to show the passport, or she did not have the passport to show. She was told to leave, and when she refused to leave, she was apparently told that she was violating the Trespassing Act of Ontario and was arrested and cuffed in front of her kids. Now, if that doesn't shock anybody's conscience, and if anybody doesn't say, well, we're getting a little too close to Australia levels tyranny for what we feel comfortable with in Canada, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe watch the video and let me know what you think of it afterwards. But this person was literally handcuffed in front of her kids, and the police officers, they seemed a little too happy to do it.
Why are you asking her to leave?
Okay, this is between her and us, not yourself.
Why are you asking her to leave?
Okay.
Answer.
You can go over here.
No.
So
You can give us a ticket
to identify yourself to us right now for trespass to property, because they asked you not to.
This is a public facility that we've paid for.
They've asked you to leave. Do you have identification on you? You don't want to do this in front of your children, right?
We are not trespassing.
Yes, you are.
Okay, come on.
You already told me you are.
Really? Hey, you know what? It's not worth it.
Be not that awkward. Put your hands back, okay? Don't resist it.
Why are you arresting her?
And this gentleman's with you?
Why are you arresting her?
told you.
You didn't say why she's under arrest.
Now it's under the Trespass to Property Act.
What's your name?
My name is right here on my
And
vest. It's Constable Wilkins.
what's your
Badge
what's your
number
partner's name?
11819. I'm out of Kincardine. Feel free to contact and find out the rules.
So that was the video. You'll let me know what you think of that. But as far as it goes, even for the provincial statutory provisions on trespassing, it's not quite as easy as these police officers are saying. You're on a place, you're asked to leave, and if you don't immediately leave, it's trespassing. I did a video on this incident that occurred in a New Brunswick Tim Hortons a while back. And there are certain defenses to accusations of trespassing, one of which is obviously the consent of the property owner. The other is implicit consent. For example, you go into a store, you purchase a coffee, as occurred at the Tim Hortons, and there is something potentially, arguably, of an implicit understanding that you are allowed to remain on the premises without being in violation of whatever provincial statutes exist as relates to trespass. You don't go into a Tim Hortons, buy the coffee, give them money to buy the coffee, then they tell you to leave, and if you don't leave within 30 seconds, you're trespassing. That's not exactly how it works. This incident was in, from what I understand, a municipal rink. So you're dealing with public property to some extent. And the question is going to be, as relates to public property, what are the provisions for being in violation of, how's it going?
Great.
Now this is Inception level vlogs. have a good one. The question is, on a municipal level, what qualifies as trespass? If you're on taxpayer property and you want to use it, as do taxpayers, at what point does it become trespass if apparently the municipality itself tells you to leave? I don't know the answer to that question. I do not give legal advice in these vlogs. I only highlight the legal aspects of incidents that have occurred of national, provincial, international, legal importance. That is the question. This person was at a municipal ice rink, allegedly refused to show her passport, was told that she's therefore asked to leave, no longer welcome, on taxpayer property, presumably taxpayer property that she paid taxes on, and then swiftly arrested for allegedly violating the Trespass Act. It's an interesting question. I suspect there's going to be some defenses to be raised, but the bigger, broader issues in all of this, what kind of country are we regressing into? This is not about just follow the rules. At some point, we have to ask ourselves, what type of society are we building, not just for ourselves, but for our kids? And by building, I mean destroying. What kind of country are we regressing into, where this is what the police are paid to do? Arrest a mother in front of her kids. We're going to have to ask ourselves these very serious questions, and at some point we're going to answer them. And if enough of us answer these questions in a certain way, well, we have to ask ourselves some more serious questions after that in terms of what are we as a people, what do we expect as a free society, and what are we prepared to live with on a going forward basis? Because, spoiler alert, this doesn't end here. It doesn't get better once we agree to these rules. It only gets worse. It only gets applied mutatis mutandis to other issues, to other incidents, to other alleged crises, and we quickly and inevitably end up living in a country that will look like Australia. So with that said, that's the latest update. By the way, tomorrow I'm doing a video, or it's going to be published, with Nate Brody. It's going to be a good one, breaking down an interview as relates to the women's soccer dispute, which is going to be glorious. Next week, I should be getting a live stream with Avi Yamini to see what is going on the streets in Australia, because he will talk about it. He is documenting it firsthand, and it's atrocious. So with that said, stay tuned. If you like my videos, you like my content, will you slow down for 1 second? Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, yada, yada. You know what to do. And Robert Barnes and I, weekly live streams every Sunday, weekly streams with a guest every Wednesday called The Sidebar. You know how to support the channel. More important than any of that, take care of yourselves, check out my friends and family, make sure everyone around you is doing well, and now you know your vlog. Peace out. Peace out.